All right, so calling an audible here, we have Charles Barkley joining the program right now. And first of all, Charles, thank you for the time this morning. I appreciate it. I wish it was under better circumstances, like not the blowout that we saw last night. But how you doing?
First of all, you better quit correcting me when I say your name wrong. I'm going to come to you and kick your ass.
Well, this is me. That was Brett Kane. He seems to think last night when you mentioned BK, you were referring to him.
That
it's
was
not
me,
him.
right? That was me.
And by the way, Chuck, it's Lombardi. My mother hears Lombardo one more time. She will kick your ass, my friend.
Well, hey, you tell your mom I apologize, but two things I'm not worried about right now. Lombardi, Lombardo, and Mike and Michael, because y'all are getting your ass kicked.
Well, it ain't pretty, bro. It ain't pretty. I mean, listen, dude, you're the one who guaranteed a Nuggets series win at the beginning of the series. What were you thinking? This is on you.
Man, I got to admit, I'm totally in shock. Two things I'm shocked about. The way you guys have played in Game 1 and Game 2, and also how Milwaukee has just played like just dogs. I mean, those two series, listen, the Suns-Nuggets series were a pick 'em. I picked you guys, and you guys have showed me nothing, zero. And the same thing with the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, it's been awful watching both teams play.
What do you think the problem is with the Nuggets? Because at least when you compare those two, at least the Nuggets have somewhat of an excuse not having all their bullets, right? Jamal Murray's not there. You cannot tell me Jamal Murray would not help the cause. He's a flamethrower. So they don't have Jamal.
Ho. I didn't hear you talk about Jamal Murray last series.
Well, he would have made it easier to beat Portland. They beat Portland. It wasn't easy. But you cannot tell me Jamal Murray doesn't make a difference, Chuck. Come on.
You can't put. Listen, I always tell you, and Vic, I'm not saying you guys have to win. You guys have not even been competitive. There's a difference. But you can't pull for Jamal. You can't bring up Jamal Murray after you've won a series. And listen, that's not what's bothering me about you guys. You guys aren't even competitive. That's what bothers me. But don't bring up Jamal Murray. You didn't bring him up in game against Portland. Y'all beat Portland. Just be competitive against the Suns. That's all I ask.
Yeah, so that's so when you go to Michael Malone's comments, Chuck, and you hear him say we quit, we should have our heads down, but he saw guys moping. I mean, the coach pulled no stops last night. So how do you turn that around and get these guys engaged mentally so they can be engaged physically?
Well, first of all, I like Coach Malone. I like him, but he's got to quit saying that and saying, you know what, that's my fault. He got, every time they play bad, he goes at them. I had an NBA coach text me last night and say, why do y'all let him get away with that? When they play bad, he always goes at the players. He never says, hey, you know what? It's my fault I didn't have my players ready to play. And we actually talked about it last night after the show. Like, listen, we all like Mike. But every time they play bad, he goes at them pretty hard. But we have never heard him say, he always says, my team was soft, they wasn't ready to play. One time I want to hear him say, hey, you know what? It's my fault my team is not ready to play. And we never say that about him because we like him as a person. I'm going to give him one more pass. Then I'm going to be watching the next couple games. And then I'm going to say, hey, you know what? He always says his players are soft, they're not ready to play. At some point, he's got to say, it's my fault my team is not ready to play.
Chuck, what can Malone do now moving on to Game 3 being in Denver? What's the difference? Like, they weren't hitting shots from the outside. Do they need to get to the rim? What is it?
Well, I talked about it a little bit last night. Hey, what happened to Monte Morris?
Yeah, he's struggling.
Struggling. Come on, man. Listen, this ain't the time where you can say, hey, somebody's struggling. I talked about it on the show last night. At some point, you just got to play better. You got to play better, buddy. And right now, I'm very disappointed in the way they've been competing. I'm not going to lie. Because neither one of these games were competitive. And last night was a travesty.
Hey, I'm not one to blame the whistle, Chuck. I never do. The Nuggets aren't down 0-2 because of the officiating. But what can they do to get to the foul line more often? Can they change their style? I mean, Joker's gotten to the foul line twice in this series. 2 games, 2 foul attempts. He's the MVP of the league. How does that happen?
Well, number one, he's got to play better. He's averaging 37 in wins, 24 in losses. And I said before the game last night, he has to get a minimum of 30. A minimum of 30. And listen, the rest, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. We read all the reports that Aaron Gordon was calling people out after the first game. Then he comes out and gets 6 points, 6 whole points.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm for guys calling each other out. That's part of this thing. When guys don't play, you can call them out. But if you call people out, you better not have 6 damn points the next game.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, come on, man. If you're going to call people out, you can't have 6 points, period.
Okay, so you're looking at this Nuggets team, Chuck, and you're looking at the future. I don't know what's going to happen in this series. They could come back home and kick some butt. That being said, what do you to compliment Murray, to compliment the MVP that was awarded yesterday? What do you want to see complimenting those guys going forward that they need to be a sustainable NBA contender for the next 5-7 years?
Well, this is a big series for these guys. One stat that I'm very proud of, I never got swept in a 7-game series. I got swept one time in a 5-game series by the Knicks, but I never got swept in a 4-game series. Never. So I want to see for the next 2 games, how many of my guys really want to compete? Because, listen, when they get Jamal back, hey, he's a big loss. I don't want to poo-poo on that. But they still shouldn't be getting swept. Listen, the Suns are not the Brooklyn Nets or the Lakers when they are all healthy. The Suns got a good team. I root for the Suns because I live there. But they're not even competitive. So this is a turning point in the Nuggets, not season, for their future going forward. Like, how many guys really want to compete? So that's what I'm going to be looking for the next couple games.
Did Michael Porter Jr., in your estimation, was that an injured back that led to that bad performance last night, or was that just him being off?
Well, this is a big moment for him because the reason he slid in the draft was because of his back. And if his back always going to be an issue, the Nuggets got to address that. Everybody said if he's healthy. But if he's never going to be healthy, you can't give him $200 million. Mm-hmm. That's the way this league is now. You have to make a decision. You said, okay, the reason he slid to us is because of his back. Sometime in the next couple of years, we're going to have to give him $200 million. That's why I said the next couple games going forward are going to be really big in evaluating our team going forward.
All right, last thing, Chuck, and I'm going to disagree with you a bit on the coaching thing, because here's my problem. When a team loses, it's always the coach's fault. A coach can't shoot for you, and the shooting has been abysmal. They've had open shots. They're taking open shots in this series. They're not going down. How is that on the coach?
Well, as a coach, you're 100% correct on the shooting. But as a coach, you have to instill hey, I don't give a damn if we're not making any shots. We're going to compete. We are going to compete. That's what a leader is. It has nothing to do with making shots. It has nothing to do with X's and O's. A coach has to say, hey, okay, we're going to compete. And listen, there's no way you can watch that game last night or the third and fourth quarter in game 1. The Nuggets aren't competing. Hey, listen, I'm not one of those guys who's going to say, hey, if you guys don't win, y'all suck. I'm never going to do that. But if you guys don't compete, I'm going to call you out on that. And listen, the Nuggets did not compete in the second half of game 1, and they did not compete last night, man. Mm-hmm. That was abysmal.
Yeah, okay, Vic Light, last thing. You guys got hockey now on TNT, and I'm the announcer for the Colorado Avalanche here, and I know that you sneak over sometimes and you watch hockey when you've got a boring NBA game. So are you going to do some hockey stuff? I mean, get to Denver, sit in with me, let's hang out, we'll do a game together, and then you can be on your way, and maybe you can double dip there at TNT.
Hey, let me tell you something. I watch hockey every night. Congratulations to the Islanders last night. I was watching that game last night. They get to play the Tampa Bay Lightning. I can't wait. Hey, man, I called a friend of mine is a head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I said, "Yo, man, I'm watching this Colorado Avalanche team. This damn dude McKinnon is no joke. I mean, he's like the real deal, and I'm totally shocked that they're down 3-2. Like, Vegas got a terrific team. Whoever wins that series is going to be the favorite probably for the Stanley Cup. But the game 6 is tonight, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tonight. Yep.
So listen, I'm torn because I need to watch that Milwaukee series because they played like dogs also. But I'm gonna be on the sports bar. I'm gonna have the Avalanche against the Knights on. I can't wait to watch that game tonight because Barry Melrose, who's the best analyst on television, Barry Melrose, I love watching Barry Melrose, and he picked the Avalanche to win the Stanley Cup. So he picked them last year too, in fairness. So I've been watching the Avs play. I cannot wait to watch that game tonight. But I don't want to be like one of these jackasses on TV who act like he knows. I'm just a fan on hockey. I'm just a fan. I don't want to be like one of these other idiots and say, well, that guy's not a good quarterback or he's not a good pitcher. I'm like, you don't know anything about those sports. So shut the hell up.
Chuck, thanks for calling the show again. Appreciate your time as usual. And you know how I know the Avalanche have a chance? What's that?
Tell your mom I apologize. Hey, so I'm gonna get your name correct from now on.
You're the best, buddy. And I know that the Nuggets have a
He's
shot.
gonna stick it to you.
I know he will. I know he will. I know the Nuggets have a shot because if you could fix your golf swing, your swing, anything's possible in this
Damn
world,
right.
buddy.
Damn right.
Hey, you see I'm driving right now? Right to the damn golf course, man.
Damn right, baby.
All
right, Chuck.
Go
Thanks,
low,
buddy.
Chuck.
Thanks for a few minutes.
Yeah, go low today. Thanks, man.
Y'all have a wonderful day.
All right, see ya.
go.
Take care.
How awesome is that, dude? Charles